Vlogging 460.
Well, it's Thursday, which is the greatest day for it to be today. It's the only day it could be today. That's silly. Okay, the weather has been holding in the 70s this week, which is crazy. And I went from wearing long sleeves to short sleeves yesterday to short pants today. So I figured I'd take advantage. This is probably the last chance I'm gonna have to wear shorts in 2017. So let's do it, which should be wonderful. Please subscribe, because I'm sure it's your subscriptions that are causing the weather to be wonderful and delightful. Hit that little red button, and then we'll get the day started. I'm just copying, ooh, it's done. I was just copying yesterday's vlog off the computer and onto one of my backups. That is done. And now it's time to go. This is gonna be the one time I end up trusting the weather forecast, and I'm sure it's gonna end up betraying me. So I guess I don't fully trust it. I trusted it enough to wear shorts. That's trust, right? We had to go into business doing something. Last year in VidCon, I think we've got some horses coming up here. Last year at VidCon, my biggest disappointment was actually with the programming. I felt like some of them I got something good out of, but most of the panels and so forth that I went to, I didn't really feel like I learned anything, or I didn't feel like the people were very well prepared. Same with the keynote speeches, where half of them seemed to not even know they were supposed to be speaking at the creator keynote, and were just doing like the community keynote, so they weren't even prepared to speak to us, which was actually kind of frustrating, because you're looking forward to the opening keynote. It's supposed to set the tone for the whole thing. It wasn't until the end of the first day, and then half of it was just blurp. So that was one thing I was disappointed with. The exhibition hall as well was another big disappointment. There wasn't anything going on. I wasn't really there for the exhibition hall though, so it was just a disappointment to see how little was going on. But for me personally, I wasn't that concerned with it because I wasn't there for it. These horses are really loud when they're in here. Wow. In Amsterdam was also a little ways away from, everything. I was staying in the center of town, which is really nice, and I was really looking forward to exploring more of Amsterdam while I was there, which I did, but it made it a little bit hard to commute all the way out to this convention center and then back, and so that was also a little bit of an annoyance. I just thought it was unfortunate that they would, you wouldn't be able to experience as much of Amsterdam. I know you're there for the conference, but if you're traveling to a place, you want to be able to see it as well, ideally, right? So those are kind of my complaints about VidCon in a nutshell. But what I really liked about it was the opportunity to meet other creators that I never would have met otherwise, made some friends, and that's really why I went. So that's why a lot of my complaints actually don't really matter. They're more like, well, they were downsides, but they didn't really diminish the ultimate impact that I was hoping for too much, which was just to meet people and make friends. And I did. And that was the main reason I went. The secondary reason I went was to learn stuff, hopefully, and that didn't really come through. And then a tertiary reason was, I didn't really care to do the community track that much. There weren't any creators that I really wanted to see while I was there in particular. So, and the exhibition hall really didn't interest me. So that kind of stuff, even though those were a little bit more on the disappointing side, especially because they scheduled it at the same time that there was a French YouTube event going on. So my phone crapping out on me there, and I have no idea how much of that got recorded. What I was trying to say before my phone cut out there was that it was kind of a big disappointment that all these French YouTubers I was hoping to actually see in person were in Paris at another YouTube event at the same time as VidCon, which is kind of sad. I'm sure they would have been there if the timing was different, which is probably why they changed the scheduling this time. But I'm so hungry that I'm having a really hard time thinking, so I'm gonna hot dog. I'm gonna get a hot dog. Now, all that said, there's a lot of the changes they've made to VidCon for this year look kind of dramatic, actually. Whoa, those are some good breaks. Also, my seat's not particularly tight kind of easily. A lot of those complaints, like for example, one of the biggest ones, the easiest ones that they fixed was that they moved to a different convention center. They're gonna be right downtown, which is really, really nice. I think it's gonna be way more fun to be able to walk outside the convention center and go into Amsterdam instead of having to catch trams or Ubers to get into the city proper. I think it's gonna be a huge improvement. They also, the most dramatic change is that they did away with the community track, which I'm not 100% sure why. Literally my seat just went down. That was bad. I'm gonna have to go ahead and fix that really quick. Doing away with the community track makes absolutely no sense to me unless there's really a focus going into creators and the industry track, which obviously is what has to happen, but it's really interesting that in their second try they would do away with that. And because from my understanding, the community track in Anaheim is one of the biggest parts of the entire convention. Did they just expect no turnout? Like why? I'm just really curious why that is. I think it could be really good because I think it'll help them to focus on producing more content creator focused content, which is what I'm interested in. I mean, I'm not going for the community side, I'm really just going for the creator side. But if that's the case, I just kind of want to know more about why. It also means, I mean, it kind of is sad because it'll reduce the energy. I imagine that the energy level shifts completely towards people that are there in a little bit more of a professional sense, or, you know, will the creator track turn into the community track for people that are really excited just about VidCon, creators, videos, YouTube, all that kind of stuff, funnel their way into that instead and change that dynamic around. I don't actually know. Curious to see how it turns out. Because ultimately for me, it's all about the opportunity to meet more YouTubers and make connections there. That's the main thing. I'm not gonna have fans at VidCon. Look at me. I mean, there are things to learn, but I think I might actually benefit more from learning from the industry track than the creator track, just if it's gonna be similar to last year. I also cannot afford to go to the industry track. So for me, the main thing is going to try and meet more YouTubers. And because I know a bunch of, this thing's wobbling a lot, isn't it? Because I know a bunch of YouTubers here in Paris now, we're talking about actually going together and then, you know, squad goals. So that'll be fun. I think it'll be a really good time. And if nothing else, make a trip out of it to Amsterdam. And then considering that hopefully by that point in the spring, things are gonna hopefully be going really nice and smoothly for me in some, well, can't say that because who knows what's going to happen between now and then, but I think that there are going to be some really good changes by then. That'll mean that we can also make an adventure out of it in some unique ways. So yeah, I'm planning on going.
It looks great on the if you could smell it. The Parisian smell of urine is
strong in this place, yeah.
Gustav loves it.
And Gustav's happy.
Yep.
It's the sweet, sweet smell of freedom, as my former roommate Noah would say. We're out walking Gustav and happen to walk into the most urine-soaked part of the city, but we'll get past it soon. Up now. Ears, will it work? It will work. It's Mark. It's really glitchy. Absolutely. He's going to work in a Scottish pub, but he's taking his Guinness top. Oh, that's fair enough. I'm really ready for food. Must get in my belly.
Gotta get it in the moment.
We had a good burger, and now Phil's traumatized by the way that this line is formed.
I feel like lining up is a North American thing here. Like, what is this? We don't know where the line starts. Like, is this one line? Is this a line over there? Like, what are we doing? This is one of the things that really kind of chaps my ass. Watching people line up. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm 8 years in and I still don't know how to line up over here. Unbelievable.
He's been in France a little bit too long. We're also just sitting here now complaining about how French movies don't have previews. But ooh, we have a real preview. Maybe. Close. We got close. It's mostly ads we don't care about.
Elle touche 26% de moins à la recrue.
We're 15 minutes in and it's still bank commercials. good. My initial thoughts while watching the movie were actually that it's the kind of movie that makes you want to make movies. It's beautifully shot, and the soundtrack and the sound effects, the editing was amazing. Just trying to chew through the actual story. We were just sitting here trying to figure out like what just happened in a way. More thoughts to come. So no spoilers, of course, but the movie, it's good if the movie leaves you thinking, right? Of course, it calls into questions about consciousness, memories, what makes us human, what makes anyone human. Similar things to the original Blade Runner, and it offers no answers, which I think is really, really good. Leaves you thinking, yeah, what is it that makes us human? And can that humanity be taken away from you? It was good. It was really good. Recommend it. Go see it. I need to see it again. I enjoyed it the whole way through. There were a couple moments where I was like, oh, this is definitely a long movie, but it was really worth it. And really, man, the sound editing kills me. And then my phone finally updates and I discover we've passed the 300 mark on Patreon. It's an interesting celebration sound. Which is insane. Thank you guys so much. I didn't even really know what to say. I have so many thoughts, but thank you so much. It's so cool to see people putting their appreciation down in a tangible way, and this has been the craziest. This has been it's just been such a cool month for that in particular. So thank you. More to come on that, I'm sure, but I will leave you with a little bit of this.